Hello guys, this is Harshvardhan. Welcome back to my channel Harshan CBS. Guys, now we are going to discuss the topic called probes of CRO. Have you ever seen probes? Yes, really? Yeah, we have seen the probes in our day-to-day life, where in general we will see the probes in the laboratory. See, by looking at this diagram, you may have or you will get some idea. Look into this. Yeah, this is called a probe. In general, what is a probe? Probe is just a simple wire. It is used to connect between the electronic circuit and CRO. It's a just simple wire, or it may have some quantities, or it may have some components inside it. Now we will discuss it about in detail. Okay? Yeah. See, this is called a probe. The probe having a two sides. The first side, this blue color encircled side, it is generally used to connect to electronic components such as the voltage or current or amplifier or transistor, where we need to measure. It is connected to that point. And this red color encircled this circle, it is called a scope. It is used to connect to the CRO. Now you can clearly see that this probe is just a wire. It is used to connect between the CRO and the electronic component. Okay. Now you can see it. This blue encircled thing called a test lead. Now what are the test lead? Test lead, it's just a direct probe. It is also called a direct probe, or it is called a 1:1 probe. It means that the attenuation is just a normal. Attenuation is normal. It is indicating. Okay. The simplest type of a probe is a test lead. Test leads are a simply convenient length of wires for connecting the CRO input to the point of observation. So from this we can clearly see that the CRO input is connected to this scope, and the point of observation it is connected by this test lead. Okay. Now the probe one end is having a crocodile clip for connection of an electronic circuit. In general, this crocodile clip is not a mandatory thing, but most of our general laboratory equipments we will use the crocodile clip. This is just a pin structure, and this is called as a crocodile clips. Why it has been calling the crocodile clip means it is having a teeth like crocodile, which is used to capture or hold the electronic equipment. Okay, that is the reason it is called as a crocodile clips. Okay. Now, since the CRO is having a very high input impedance and high sensitivity, test lead should be shielded to avoid hum pickup. Now what will happen if there is no shielding? If there is no shielding to this test lead, now what will happen? It may exposure to the atmosphere, such that the atmosphere conditions may show some properties on the test lead such that the input signal which is going in the wire may get affected. So we need to protect, or we need to cover the test lead. Okay. So for the test lead, the protection must be mandatory. Now, high impedance avoid a loading of the circuit. See, in general we know that CRO is working with very high voltage, and our circuits of electronic devices or electronic circuits will work with very low voltages. Okay. See, as there is a huge amount of difference between the CRO voltage and this electronic circuit voltages, the high input impedance of the CRO will protect the electronic component, such that the high voltage of CRO will not show impact on these electronic components. Okay. Hope you understand what is called as a loading effect. Now, suppose the input capacitance of a scope and stray capacitance of a test lead. We have clearly seen what is a scope. It is a scope, and it is also called as a test leads. Okay. Now what will happen? As both input capacitance of a scope and state capacitance of test lead are connected in parallel, it will create a circuit. See here. Suppose it is a capacitance of a scope and it is a capacitance of a test lead. Now what will happen, as both capacitance are, as there are only two capacitance which are connected in parallel, now what will happen? It is indicating the second order circuit. From the network theory, we can clearly observe that the second order circuits will generate oscillations. So now what will happen? From the electronic component, we are getting some waves into the probe, and the probe is generating a self oscillations. Now what will happen? The input or incoming wave is getting to overlap with the generated waveforms. So we need to avoid it. How we will avoid it? We will avoid just by using or just by placing a resistor here. The resistor which we are placing here is termed as a carbon resistor. Okay, hope you understand why we are placing a resistance here. Why we are placing resistance here? In order to avoid the overlap of the two waveforms. What are the two waveforms? The first waveform is from the electronic component and the second waveform is from the generated from this capacitance circuit. Okay. Now, a slight reduction in the amplitude waveform. See, it's a quite general normal process. As see from this diagram you can understand. Suppose at this point my sinusoidal input is having a voltage of plus or minus 2 amplitude. As the wave progress or propagates into the wire and reaches to the point of the shear, now what will happen? As the wire is a conductor, there may be a loss or attenuation of the signal, and my signal may reach to an amplitude of plus 1.5 and minus 1.5 volts. Okay, this is what actually happening there, and my signal shape may also change. So this operation or this action we are unable to avoid it, but we can reduce it. How we are going to reduce it? In order to reduce it, we are using a 10:1 probes or high impedance probes we are using. In order to avoid, we are using a high impedance compensated probe called as a low capacitance probe or 10:1 probes. Okay. Now, high passive high voltage probes now we are going to discuss. Okay. See, this is the circuit of the passive high voltage probes. See here what we have done. We have taken a high input resistance with variable capacitor. It is also called as a varicap. Now what we are doing, by changing the capacitance C1, the entire circuit the impedance we are controlling just by using a C1. Okay, see this diagram very carefully. From this we can see that C2 and Cin are connected in parallel. If the both capacitors are connected in parallel, we know that what is the formula? It's just a summation C2 plus Cin, and the resistance is connected in parallel with the both of the capacitors. So now I will modify the circuit in such a way that now it will look like this. See carefully. Okay. Now what will happen? See this. C2 plus Cin is connected in parallel. So C2 plus Cin is connected in parallel with Rn. Okay, this condition is satisfied. Now the R1 and C1 are also connected in parallel. Now see, R1 and C1 are connected in parallel. From the network theory, we know that the bridge balancing condition is the opposite impedances must be equal. Okay, hope you got you know the basic fundamentals of network. The opposite impedance must be same in order to balance the bridge circuit. Now from this we can clearly see the opposite resistance R1 into Cin plus C2 must be equal to Rin into C1. Okay, see, wait, I will write this. Yes, R1 into the impedance of the C2 plus Cin is equal to Rin into impedance of a C1. We know that the capacitance impedance is 1 by j omega C. Okay, we know that the impedance is a 1 by j omega C. So just replace it. R1 by j omega C2 plus Cin equal to Rin by j omega into C1. So R2 here j. Here j. Now what will happen? I can cancel j. I can cancel omega from the here. So it is independent of the frequency. Now manipulate the equation such that cross multiply the terms. So R1 C1 equal to Rin into C2 plus Cin. Okay. Now see carefully. So just cross multiply the terms. R1 into C1 equal to Rin into C2 plus Cin. Now what will happen? See, as there is a equal resistance offered by this path. Suppose if you are coming from here and you are coming to the point X, you are offering resistance of R1. Now assume that you are coming from this point and you are reaching to the position of Y. You are having a experience of Cin plus C2. Okay. So from this we can clearly know that the R1 C1 whole resistance multiply equal to Rin into C1 plus C2. From this we can clearly see from the network theory the both points X and point Y are in the equipotential. Equipotential is nothing but, suppose assume it is a point A and it is a point B. Suppose from the point A to point X I am having a resistance of R1. From the point B to from the point X I am having resistance of Rin. Equipotential is indicating that R1 equal to Rin. Okay, it is the condition. Both paths is experiencing the same resistance. So we can call these points as an equipotential points. Okay, now X and Y are equipotential nodes or points. Effect of this probe as the points X and Y are equipotential. Now do just one thing. So remove the capacitance from the circuit and just place. Now remove the capacitance from the circuit and just place R1 and Rin. Okay. Now what will happen? R1 and Rin across the input. Okay. Now what will happen? My input or our input is connected to only R1 and R2. So it is connected to midpoint in such a way R1 and R2. And it is directly connected to vertical amplifier of the CRO. Now the attenuation is 10:1. Now what will happen? This is the reason it is called as a 10:1 probe or high voltage probe or low capacitance probe. Okay. By this connection, the attenuation of the signal is in the ratio is 10:1. Okay. So it is called as a high impedance or 10:1 probes. Okay. Now from this we can clearly see, from this we need to calculate the C1 value. Why C1? Because C1 is the variable capacitor. From there we can vary the capacitance. Okay, now calculate what is the formula of C1. C1 equal to Rin into C2 plus Cin by this R1 is came to denominator. Okay, now R1 is 1 mega ohm. We can see clearly. R1 1 mega ohm, Rin 9 mega ohm, C2 C1 equal to 20 picofarad. In general, the constant value of the C2 or Cin is given as a 105 picofarad. Okay, it is for C2 and Cin. It is for Cin. Now what will happen? See, just substitute the values. 1 mega into 105 plus 20, it's 125 picofarad by 9 mega. It's due, or it result in the 13.88 picofarads. Okay. So from this we can clearly see that therefore we can change this input capacitance or vary cap from the range of approximately, it's an approximate value. We can change the value from 15 to 50 picofarad. 15 to 50 picofarad. It is the lower limit and it is the maximum upper limit to which the resistance can, the capacitance can be changed. Okay, guys, this is the concept of the passive probes. If you really like the video, please hit the like button, share among your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, guys.